Hey, this is Paul on DualShockers TV for DualShockers.com. I'm here talking with Fabien-Pierre Nicolas about Marvel War of Heroes for iOS and Android. It's a strategic card game that pits our beloved heroes against each other. So what does Marvel War of Heroes bring to iOS and Android and card games in general?
So you're going to be able to build your team of superheroes and fight both against supervillain, in single-player experience. But you're going to be able as well to fight against other players. And you're going to realize that there is a lot of strategy behind it. At the beginning it's fairly easy, but then you're like, oh man, I need to combine different superheroes and build my deck and really level them up and merge them together. So I think it brings a great Marvel experience that's free, so every single Marvel fan in the world could jump in and not be like, oh, I need to pay something to share the passion with other fans. And at the same time with a lot of strategy and depth into it. So if you're a big Marvel fan, you add at the top of that all the great Marvel art and you're like, okay, I'm happy.
That sounds pretty awesome. You just mentioned the game is free, and obviously there are some premium stuff where you can buy packs or booster packs with money, but you also mentioned something while we were checking out the game about people earning extra cards through merit by participating and helping each other out. What made you think of that as an idea for...
Well, I think, Mobage, which is the publishing service we have in the West, have designed a lot of free-to-play games in Japan. And one thing they've realized is some people have money and just want to get a bunch of cards and pay, and it's fine. Some people have a lot of time on their hand and they could contribute in another way. So by playing a lot and unlocking a lot of content and topping the leaderboards and then eventually leading a group of other S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, they're contributing to the community. If you go out there as well, you post in a wiki, you're contributing to the community. So there is no reason for us to gate some content and be like, oh, sorry, you can't access that, when everybody is playing their parts, right? And it's like, gaming is not about excluding people, gaming is about bringing people together, and especially if it's about Marvel fans, you don't want to be like, whoops, sorry, you're not good enough of a Marvel fan for us. You want to allow everybody to contribute and enjoy the game.
That's a pretty awesome thing. I like the idea that, gaming is an inclusive thing. Lastly, I saw while you were playing that you're able to, like you mentioned, that you can merge heroes and fuse them up. So it's not just like a single roster. You have different Spider-Man and different Iron Man. Well, what gave you the idea of making those sorts of fusion cards? Wait, can you fuse different heroes together to get better versions of
So you can't. You could use different heroes to eventually level up, but the fusion is exclusively with the same type of heroes. So I think reading, the Marvel comics or watching some of the Marvel movie, you always see a hero that at the beginning is not necessarily the strongest. Think about Captain America, right? It's like at the beginning it's like, oh, I'm a weak guy, and so on. And then it gets boosted and it truly becomes a hero. But even at the beginning of having his special power, he's not there yet. He's not a superhero. And so I wanted to kind of mimic the same mechanism, in the game. And by having the fusion where you take two Spider-Man, you blend them together, it's a stronger Spider-Man. We were trying to tell this story of you're a hero in becoming, and then you're leveling up, and you become a real superhero at the end.
That's pretty awesome. And lastly, how often can Marvel fans and people who are playing the game expect updates for War of Heroes?
So usually we really view game as a live service, so we're going to try to do weekly events and as well a lot of new content at least twice a month, bringing new content to the fan. And that's truly this vision of game as a service. It's not like a completed product you're going to play for 2 or 3 weeks and then you're going to be like, okay, I'm done, I'm moving on. You invest time, you bring your friends in, you start playing, so we want to keep bringing new content, again, at least twice a month, if not more often. You're going to have a lot of contests, a lot of new boss battles being added. The storyline will keep developing, we're going to add more heroes. So that's, again, benefiting from the experience of our Japanese parent company, who was like, hey, that's what you need to do to keep your players engaged. And especially with Marvel community, I'm sure they will be really engaged and committed.
Well, thank you for your time, Fabien. Again, this has been Paul Asen on DualShockers TV for DualShockers.com. We were talking about Marvel War of Heroes.